Hey golfers, Tony with Reactionary Golf. Just a reminder, we got our March 17th, 18th golf school in Orlando, Florida. Check out BeBetterGolf.net to go ahead and sign up for that. March 17th and 18th, Brendon and I will be out there. And what I wanted to do is kind of just show you some of the different reactionary golf kind of principles that we'll be using out there. And I got an old swing of Brendon's, and this is over a year ago. About a year ago that we were working on his swing. So we're going to see some really good things. But what I want to point out is some things in transition. I did some videos about shallowing and stuff like that. So this is kind of clean it up. We got Justin Thomas on the right here. We got Brendon on the left. So some of the good things, and we'll try to get these synced up here together best we can. Brendon did a great job working on the takeaway. That's pretty close, and we'll tweak it up as it goes back. So one of the things that we see is there's a couple different ways you can actually get that square club face going back. And we can see that that club face is not toe up, okay? We see much of a tilt, so I like to see it more in the right wrist, kind of a hinge back there, that extension. I know Justin's father's a PGA Pro, has been obviously developing him as a player, and phenomenal job. So it really, and what you're going to find out as a golfer, you need to find out what is best for you. We know the club hits the ball, but what is it best for you to feel and things like that. So I still like to get the right wrist to extend, create the square club face going back, but we can see that they both have done that very well. So let's see what happens from here. And again, Justin goes a little bit more upright, and we were working on, and then he kind of keeps it there. I really like this position here at the top with Brendon. You look at those two positions, they're basically, one's a little bit more upright, and we get a height difference and everything else. But really, from a club standpoint, nice parallel lines at the top with the shaft. So, all that is looking really good. Now, here's the biggest difference I want to talk about in this transition. And we're going to see a totally different move coming down. Now, Brendon, and what we've been working on with Brendon is this transition. And Brendon, as he's kind of labeled it, is the Cali move, which we'll take it back and we'll kind of create some little checkpoints coming in. Now remember, when we start looking at using lines and drawing lines on 2D video, we got to be really careful because we can't relate these lines to pure 3D space. It just won't work. So when I draw a line up here, this is not a specific relationship that we're going to see on the way down. Let's get this a little bit cleaner. So these are just some reference points that we can have some conversations about going back and through. So we're going to see here, and we'll get this, we're going to see a totally different move with Brendon on the way down. You can see how his hands are working, body's working more left, that shoots the hands out. That definitely drops the club down, but we're going to see that the more we do that, creates more of what we call, as Dr. Kwan labeled it, a spiral trajectory. The more spiral or the more offline we get, the harder it is to kind of line it back up through the functional swing plane. So what I like to see happen is golfers use more of their arms, and right arm specifically, to create a better line coming down. Now, three-dimensionally, people are going to say, well, that dropped down. Well, it may be a little bit flatter, but relative to what we see coming down, when we take a look at these two moves, Justin has shifted forward, so already this line doesn't correspond to anything in that video, what we did in the backswing. But we can use it as a reference point. We can see here that now that club face and that path, Brendon's got to really work hard to get that club coming back down to the ball. So he's just got a different way of doing it. And the more that club is what we call wobbling at the top, it makes it a little bit more challenging to come down into the ball. And again, what we like to see here is good right wrist extension. Club face is looking really good as it approaches the ball. And now we get through impact. So we can see that even though Brendon had, in a sense, shallowed out the club, okay, his hands are coming in higher, and now he's got to reroute the club, and the club actually is coming in a little bit steeper. So now as we get through impact, this is where we want to get the drive of the body. But if we've used the body in transition, and that's caused those hands to go over, now we really can't use it as effectively through impact. Okay? And that's where Brendon has to get a little bit more flip into that. And again, this is an old video, and he's improved a lot with that. But you can see how he's had to use his hands to make up for that mistiming between the body and the arms, and you try to save it with the hands. Where with Justin's swing, he's going right through this shot with everything, and there's very little manipulation. Actually, I'm going to say no manipulation of the club going through. And then now everything kind of comes up through it. And you can actually see the difference in the club face here versus a little bit more over. So those are just some of the things that we're going to be working on at our Be Better Golf School, powered by Reactionary Golf in March. And so this way, the better you can transition that club down with your arms, controlling the force, controlling the path, and then using the body right through impact, we can get much better swings. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.